One Zambia, One Nation. To present Zanis News, my name is Juliet Mtale. Top stories in the news. Zambia, Mozambique to enhance trade. Muchinga chiefs call for revision of boundary map. 1,200 trees planted to combat climate change. And revised education curriculum validated. The news in detail. Zambian High Commissioner to Mozambique, Mary Chilwa, has reaffirmed that the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding to actualize the Nacala corridor will help increase trade between Zambia and Mozambique. Mrs. Chilwa says Zambia will leverage on the coastline that Mozambique has in order to enhance business for the country. From Maputo, here is Kelvin Tembo.
Zambia's exports to Mozambique have seen an increase in the last 2 years. Zambia's High Commissioner to Mozambique, Mary Chilwa, confirmed the increase of trade activities between the two countries.
In terms of imports from Zambia, they have also increased from 9.3 million in 2018 to 28 million in 2022. So you can see that there's an improvement. And obviously we can do better. We are a land-linked country, and we can leverage on the cost that Mozambique has to enhance business for Zambia.
The High Commissioner adds that the introduction of a direct flight from Mozambique to Zambia will further increase trade.
If you recall, in September 2023, Excellency, the President of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, was part of the tripartite agreement where an MOU was signed between Zambia, Mozambique, and Malawi to actualize the Nacala corridor. And I believe that as long as that MOU is put into effect, there will be increased trade between Zambia and Mozambique. Mozambique also did start an airline between Zambia and Mozambique, a direct flight. That was in June of 2023. And I think that is also a very good development because it has made transportation easy.
And Lusaka Province Permanent Secretary Robert Kamalata is happy with the relationship between the two countries.
Lusaka Province is bordering with Mozambique, so we have got a few issues in Feira, which is Ruangwa, which we thought we should present and iron out. So I'm so excited and I'm glad that during this meeting it was so fruitful.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Maputo, Mozambique.
The Ministry of Health has completed the cholera vaccination campaign in Lusaka district with over 1.8 million people vaccinated against the disease. And Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo has announced that government will start enforcing statutory instrument number 5 of 2024, which stipulates that all unsanitary places be closed. She said this will help in curbing the cholera outbreak in the country. Audrey Kalenga has the details.
She has continued her engagement with communities in cholera hotspot areas in Lusaka. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo today was in Mandev constituency at Patalev 1 Hospital, where she gave an update on the cholera situation in the country.
Today, we are here in Mandev constituency. Tomorrow we'll be in Kanyama constituency, and the other day we'll be in Chawama constituency. These are the constituencies where cholera is at the present moment. Now, we have what we call hotspots, meaning hotspot simply means a place where there's too much cholera. Of course, there will be other areas away from these hotspots that may record 2 cases, 1 case, just like we've also heard about a case, maybe 2 cases in Northern Province, or maybe 10 cases in Central Province, and so on and so forth. Because of movements, it is possible that you continue to hear 7 provinces here and there out of the 10 provinces. But the truth still remains that this cholera is predominantly in one province, and that is Lusaka province. And even in Lusaka province, it is predominantly in Lusaka district. So we need to be very clear where this cholera is. So cholera is here in Lusaka.
Ms. Masebo stated that the Ministry of Health has made a steady improvement in containing the disease, as evidenced by a reduction in the number of new cases and admissions this week.
Lusaka province is the most affected, as I indicated, which has recorded 314 cases of the entire total 397 cases reported countrywide. This, however, is lower than the 327 that we reported yesterday. And within Lusaka province, of these 314 cases, Lusaka district continued to be the one with a higher number, 243 cases. Now, coming to Hero Stadium. At Hero Stadium Cholera Treatment Center, we continue also to see a reduction in patients in admission. Remember that the Hero Stadium is the main receiving cholera center from all the 7-8 constituencies of Lusaka. And as of 6 hours this morning, we had a total of 288 patients in admission. I think this is the lowest since we opened.
The minister has since directed the closure of the market for 2 days due to poor sanitary conditions.
It's now a question of the council to enforce the closure. Initially, we thought we should close it for 3 days, but maybe 4 days is too much. So we are going to make sure we supervise the closure of this market, starting from tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and we'll come and inspect tomorrow at 6 o'clock, 18 hours, to see whether or not something has happened.
Audrey Kalenga, Zanis News, Lusaka.
From Lusaka province, we take you to Muchinga province, where traditional leaders have called for the revision of the 1958 chiefdom boundary map. Speaking when Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Muchima paid a courtesy call on them, Chief Pepo of Nkachibia district said government should quickly reconsider reviewing the map as it was drawn years back and does not meet the current trends. And Chief Kabinga also called for speedy revision of the boundary map, as the population has now increased from 2 million back then to over 20 million people currently. Here are the details.
He has concluded his tour of visiting chiefs in Muchinga province. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Muchima was here to resolve land matters in the province. During his interactions with the chiefs, the traditional leaders called for the revision of the 1958 chief boundary map. This is the map that was created by the white people during colonization.
As a result, we have problems. People coming here, land allocated to them. Others are just buying from Lusaka without even knowing the place. When they come here, they are surprised that some of the parts of the land that is there is occupied by people, our villagers.
Information in 1958 and information in 2024. Chinshi chikalamba kyalimo kuloresha mu 1958 na population yalimo n'obushiro bwa 1958 bushena lero bulimo n'ama features yalimo n'emikali ya bushena lero ilimo.
Chief Kabinga also called for the revision of that map.
1958 map. This 1958 is a thorn in the flesh, in the sense that there are areas that were gazetted some 50, 60 years ago, when the population that time I think was only 2 million. Now that we're talking about 20 million, the land doesn't grow. It's limited, isn't it? But people are growing. So I think I was saying that there is need, in cases where you have gazetted area, to look into that. The first thing you do, I think, is to consult the chief, then do the sensitization of the community.
Mr. Muchima assured the traditional leaders of taking into consideration their submissions.
And I can foresee why I should hasten to come with the Vice President to Muchinga, maybe to other provinces. I've already promised that I need to talk to Vice President when we come, so that she can also hear for herself
The minister was also impressed with the way he was received by all the traditional leaders in the province, contrary to what he has been hearing.
It is very gratifying to see what I'm seeing in Muchinga. I'm happy. I've just been reading State House now. The impression, the picture which is being given is distorted information. Now onwards, I'm from Royal Highness Kopa. Very excited. Indeed, I'm a very excited person.
Jane Simalumba Zanis in Muchinga Province.
Meanwhile, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Mchima has assured of government's intervention to address disasters brought about by the rains. Jane Simalumba reports that Mr. Mchima said this when he paid a courtesy call on Chief Kopa of Kanchibia district, whose chiefdom has been affected by the submerging of Kanchibia Bridge.
This is a state of affairs here in Chief Kopa's chiefdom in Kanchibia district of Muchinga province. The bridge has been submerged by Kanchibia River. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Elijah Mchima, who was on his way to visit Chief Kopa on land-related issues, made a stop here.
It's not only about cholera and also disasters brought by water. These are issues which we need to bring to the attention of government. We are here and they have to bring it to the attention of the Vice President. This is critical. We shall lose lives here if we don't move, or they'll be completely cut off.
Can be lifted up. Put up enough covers for the water flow.
Yeah. As you can see, the water levels reached somewhere there and there.
This situation is also not pleasing to the community.
Mana ule isusha sana. Ule isulisha. Sona ikuwa na 3 days tatuwale ndao. Tuwali kwa tobu wafyo bukalambo wakwe bati. Abana ba maskulu bonse nifta ilabuka ne skulu. Aliba skulu alibako. Abana ba maskulu mkwainga tabale ndabonse.
During the courtesy call, Chief Kopa also appealed to the minister to have the problem worked on.
This is actually not the first time that we have run in this problem of water submerging the area. Yes, this has been nearly every year during rain season we have this problem. Yes.
The minister assured the chief and the residents that the matter will be addressed through the office of the Vice President.
And yesterday when he told me that you are cut off, I didn't believe as I've been coming until when I saw it. And truly, you have been cut off. Your Royal Highness, it's a pleasure with my team. We deal with issues to do with the land and the natural resources. One of the natural resources issues is to deal with wetlands. And this is what is happening here. Already this calls for the government to pay particular attention. This we cannot say CDF. I'm happy my permanent secretary is here to see for himself. Your 2 DCs are here. We have to move in quickly. Otherwise you'll be completely cut off about by March.
Jane Simalumba Zanis in Kanchibia, Muchinga Province.
We take our first break. Stay tuned.
Bushe cholera chinshi. Cholera bulwele bwa kupolomia. Omuntu ukwete cholera alapolomia sana eyo n'okuluka. Obusali buba ubwamenshi n'okubutuluka ng'omu basukire omupunga. Omulwele wa cholera takwata amenshi mu mubiri pamulandu wa kuluka ero n'okupolomia. Omulwele wa cholera kuti afa mu nsa 12 na nguntile 12 hours nga tapeerwa omuti uwafikapo. Usho omuntu kuti akwata shani cholera? Okunwa amenshi ayabula okuwamya nangu ayafiko. Okulya ifyakulya n'emino iyalamba nangu mufipe ifyabula okusamfya n'amenshi ayasuma. Okulya ifyakulya ifyo basunga okwabula okufimbapo ifyakutira na balunshi baleikalapo. Okulya ifyakulya ifyashelepo ifyatalala ifyakutira tabafisungire bwino nakalya iyo. Okulya ifyakulya ifyo bashitisha mu misebo. Okulya ifisabo elyo n'omusalo ifyabula okusamfya. Kuti twaichingirira shani ku bulwele bwa cholera. Wamyanya amenshi yakunwa okupitira mu kuipika nangu okubika mu chlorine. Sambeni kuminwa na sopo ilo na amenshi ayasuma panuma ya kubonfye chimbusu. Kafyaniko ifyakulya ilo tamulalia. fimbeni pa fyakulya fyonse pakuti balunshi tabaleikalapo mwilalya ifyakulya fisangwa mu misebo bomfyeni chimbusu inshita yonse mwila bomfya ifikunkubiti nangu ifupepala pakuposa ubusali shiningisha inokutila ubusali bonse bwaposwa mu chimbusu sungeni chimbusu ichabusaka nokufimbapo inshita yonse iyimbila abamiletelako chipani chimona pabumi.
Zanis News continues. Minister of Green Economy and Environment Collins Nzovu has called for concerted efforts from various stakeholders to partner with government in planting trees in order to fight the negative impact of climate change. Mr. Nzovu says the effects of climate change has impacted negatively on the country's gross domestic product and food security, hence the need to continuously plant trees to promote sustainability. The minister said this when he officiated at the tree planting exercise at Lusaka National Park, where 1,200 trees were planted and spearheaded by World View Institute, an organization which promotes environmental sustainability. More in this report.
The negative impact of climate change has continued to pose a threat on many sectors of the economy and food security in the country. For this reason, planting trees is one of the measures that can help to mitigate the impact of climate change. Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Collins Nzovu, who graced the tree planting exercise in Lusaka, called for concerted efforts in the fight against climate change by planting trees.
These trees you are planting today, in this forest, remember, maybe just for you, some of you, the background of this forest, the creation of this forest, basically, you will first of all look at richness in biodiversity, the ecosystem, how rich it is here. So these protect the headwaters of most of these rivers. So destroying the forest destroys your water supply system. If you noticed, a good example will be in the southern province, for example.
World View Institute Chief Executive Officer highlighted what the organization does in the fight against climate change.
We are putting 1,200 plants into the ground, and we are so grateful for your support. Once again, I also want to acknowledge our partners. We cannot plant trees. The World View Institute is a mindset and sustainable living an educational institute. We depend on donors, we depend on volunteers, and this is a culture that we want to inculcate on the people. Volunteerism and donations. So we depend entirely on that for our programs. We don't have a fund that sits where we withdraw from. So I want to acknowledge the presence of our supporters and our sponsors. We have Zanako. Thank you so much for coming.
And Zanako Chief Executive Officer Mkwanditwe Sakunda observed that the importance of conserving nature in the wake of climate change cannot be overstated.
Today, we are contributing 1,000 trees to the Think Green project. We're also delighted to announce that we are committing a further 3,000 trees. These 3,000 trees will not just be planted in Lusaka, but in other parts of the country. This is important in our journey towards a greener and more sustainable Zambia. According to the Global Forest Watch, Zambia lost 2.55 million hectares of tree cover, which is a decrease of 9.4% in tree cover between 2001 and 2022.
For Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sunday Warrior.
Thank you, Sunday, for that report. Now, Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Elias Mwanga, has praised the Law Association of Zambia LAS for launching the Lawyers Multi-Purpose Cooperative aimed at uplifting the welfare of its members. Mr. Mwanga, who graced the event in Lusaka, said the initiative is commendable as cooperatives are crucial in the growth of the economy. The minister noted that government is keen to transform the Zambian economy through cooperatives and that the first ever launched Lawyers Cooperative will act as the vehicle to accelerate economic activities. You observed that the initiative by LAS to come up with a cooperative is in line with President Hakainde Hichilema's vision to use cooperatives to drive economic activities. Mr. Mwanga further explained that to this effect, his ministry has embarked on reviewing the Cooperative Society Act and policy, which will be launched soon. He pointed out that the Cooperative Society Act and policy will ensure inclusivity of all sectors into the cooperative movement and Minister of Justice Mulambo Haimbe said government places cooperatives at the center of economic development of the country. Mr. Haimbe, who is also Lusaka Central Constituency Member of Parliament, stressed that this is why government has increased the Constituency Development Fund to empower micro, small and medium enterprises.
First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you for being here today. Your presence signifies the strength of your cooperative and the collective and collection of spirit that binds you together. Today is not just about this launch of your cooperative, but it is about embracing a vision for a better future where you will work, invest, save, and prosper together. Those are the key words.
This government, the current administration, led by His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, places cooperatives at the center of economic development of the country. It is for this reason that the increased CDF makes allocations for empowering micro, small and medium enterprises and cooperatives in every part of the country. Therefore, this innovation that we are launching today sits squarely within the ideals and objectives of the New Dawn government. And I must say, listening to the speeches of those that have spoken before me, it is clear that this cooperative is embedded in very progressive ideas and a modern way of thinking.
Cooperative is incorporated under the Cooperative Societies Act 1998, and as the board chairperson indicated, membership is open to all LAS members. Following the incorporation of the Lawyers Cooperative, this was ratified by the general membership of the Law Association of Zambia at its April 2023 annual general meeting held at Avani Resorts, Livingstone. And it is now the official approved special purpose vehicle for the association.
We move to Northwestern Province. Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Colonel Gladson Katambi has advised engineers at the Road Development Agency, RDA, and Solwezi Municipal Council to stop politicizing and work together to serve the people in the region. Speaking during the official opening of a one-day technical capacity building training workshop on roads and bridges maintenance, Colonel Katambi called on both the council and RDA to ensure that they provide best roads for the local people. Details in this report by Chaibo Nkoma.
These are local engineers from the 11 districts of Northwestern Province undergoing a technical capacity building training on roads and bridges maintenance.
Talk about maintenance of paved roads. Maintenance of paved roads can either be routine or of a periodic nature. So routine maintenance, these are routine general repairs carried out on a road, sometimes carried out before periodic maintenance is done. General repairs must be carried out in good time to prevent further deterioration of the road.
Provincial Permanent Secretary Colonel Gladson Katambi is guest of honor.
Kazomba people are still got problems with the feeder roads. The roads are muddy. But we have got equipment. We have got people with the brains like ourselves. You guys are highly trained. Stop politicking. If you were cadre in the previous government, stop it. And if you're a cadre in UPND, stop exercising that cadreism. Let us work for the people of Northwestern Province.
The Permanent Secretary wants the local authority and the Road Development Agency, RDA, to work together to improve the road network both in urban and peri-urban areas.
The President has said, I'm coming from Lusaka. that we cannot continue working in isolation. You people here, ladies and gentlemen, with a lot of respect, your aim is one, is to save the people of Northwestern Province. So then one expects you, first of all, before you get to the books, qualification and what you're supposed to do, is to establish that good working relationship amongst yourselves. So that if you cannot do, you should be able, somebody from RD should be freely get to the council and ask for some equipment to use.
The training also includes a skill in road maintenance of potholes. Reporting for Zanis News, I'm Chebunkoma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
Zanis News continues. The Tanzanian delegation, led by Chilanga Council Secretary Grayson Sakala, has toured various Constituency Development Fund CDF projects in Chilanga District to appreciate the operations of CDF in Zambia. The officials from Tanzania, led by the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar Permanent Secretary Islam Salam, seek to have a point of reference for the implementation of their country's CDF programs. The delegation's tour of CDF projects in the district marks the end of their 5-day working visit to Zambia. Here are the details.
The Tanzanian delegation, led by Chilanga Council Secretary Grayson Sakala, has toured various Constituency Development Fund CDF projects in Chilanga District to appreciate the operations of CDF in Zambia. The delegation seeks to benchmark their own CDF programs in Tanzania. Islam Salum, the Permanent Secretary of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, says the visit aims to exchange knowledge and ideas on the implementation of CDF between Zambia and Tanzania.
So we are here just to learn implementation of CDF here in Zambia, how Constituency Development Fund help to move or to develop, to improve economic development here in Zambia. We have been here and we are lucky to meet the ministry responsible, and also Minister of Finance, and also we have been there to the Lusaka City Council, also the Decentralization Secretary, as well as a committee in the Parliament.
Chilanga Council Chairperson Champion Tembo explains the scope of the bursary component of CDF.
CDF has a provision to pay bursaries specifically, that is to meet the boarding costs, so that student who is underprivileged is also able to attend boarding schools. So if a parent is here in Chilanga, but a child is in a boarding school 500 kilometers away from him, we will still pay to have that child educated. So a few years from now, we'll have so many children that will be graduating, and not all of them will enter university, colleges, and that kind of thing. Again, CDF comes in with training them in schools, in skills.
Dr. Salum is impressed with the implementation of the decentralization policy in Zambia.
First, we need to realize the importance of decentralization, to make community define their own problem and government to inject money so they can solve a problem from the local authority instead of central government. This is very, very important.
Miles Kabengo for Zanis in Chilanga District, Lusaka.
And in education news, the Ministry of Education Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Joe Kamoko, has disclosed that the revised school curriculum has been validated and awaiting cabinet approval before implementation. Mr. Kamoko says the revised school curriculum, once approved, will address some of the historic teething problems that have failed to align the country's developmental goals. He said this in Chirundu District after an inspection of the ongoing construction works of the Early Childhood Education Hub in Kayuni area in the outskirts of the district.
In order to enhance skilled labor capable of accelerating Zambia's long-term Vision 2030, which aims at making the country a prosperous middle-income nation, the Ministry of Education embarked on a broad-based curriculum reforms. These curriculum reforms are seen as a panacea to the current production of low-quality graduates incapable of accelerating social and economic development, as outlined in the Vision 2030. With the reforms already validated and just waiting cabinet approval, the government is confident of changing the narrative of an education system that is famed for producing half-baked graduates.
I'm sure this year we have now validated the curriculum. We'll soon be sharing it once the cabinet gives us approval, so that we make it familiar to the teachers, the managers, the devs, the PO, the community, and also it will cost for a lot of money because we are calling for things to be done different. We don't want a school which produces learners who speak English, but they are useless at home. They can't use their hands. They have no skills after school. They commit suicide. They drink beer every day.
To remedy the situation, the government has since identified early childhood education as critical foundation in production of quality graduates competent in contributing meaningfully to national development.
I hope early childhood investment will change the story in a primary school. Because we are getting people into primary who can't read. They get to secondary, they are worse. They get to college, we are saying we are half-baked graduates. It starts with a bad starting point. So if early childhood will be done right, we can do more than one house tomorrow, another one in future, maybe a few 10 houses, waterborne. I think we're going the right way. The president doesn't want our pit that shit. So we must be asking each other, how soon do we make the whole school waterborne? The whole school. If there's a clinic nearby, how do you make it waterborne?
As for Chirondo District Administration, value for money remains its guiding principle, as evident by the formation of a joint monitoring evaluation team that is tasked to inspect the ongoing construction of public infrastructure in the district.
I'm grateful that the council, the district administration, the head office, the DHO's office, is the one monitoring team that still keeps on visiting the site from time and again. Then we also have the infrastructure officer and also the district buildings officer. There is also all the time on site. And if there are any challenges, it's quick to bring to our attention for us to consider challenges that we appreciate. Even when we see something is wrong, yes, we come in and say this is wrong, and we ask the contractor to attend to
Zanis reports in Chirondo District, Southern Province.
We take our second break. Join us for more development news after the break.
Hena korera ninzi, korera mburwazi ibwa kusomona. Imuntu ugiswa burwazi bwa korera ulasomona akuluka kapati. Itubi tulahamenda manji. Imurwazi ulangwanyota kapati agambwa kumana kwa menda mubiri. Imurwazi iwakorera unga wahwa mumawola alo ali 12 gombo kutita jana busirisi buli kaboto. Hena munzira iri buti muntu bwakwa yakujana burwazi bwakorera igunywa menda alo atabikibyo musamu ja tusunda na menda aje sitombe. Igurya jagurya jalo igubere hamanza atasahigwa igabuto na igubere hamitima na himwi yalo atasahigwa amimusamu na mwamenda ajisi imusamu walo jatuzunda. Igurya jagurya jitawunigidwe jalo jakarwa nzinini. Igurya jagurya jitontola jalo jalegekwa na jajilo jalo jenero tijaburu gabuto. Igurya jagurya jamumazira. Igurya imijelo na jihumani jalo jatasahigwa gaboto. Hena munzira iri buti muntu mbwakwa yahugwa bira burwazi bwakorera. Igubona masimpe guti wabagwananganya gaboto menda agunywa. Igwinda mugubona masimpe guti ajigwa na igubiko musamu wa chlorine. Amusambe mumanze nugubere hansipa. Na menda abigwe musamu ujatuzunda. Mwamana gubere hajimbuzi. Amujisibige nangu jigasaha ija kurya gamutana agujirya. Amuhunige ija kurya jindi yonse igutegwa kuti gitaka rw'enzinini mutalija kurya jagura mu mazira amuberehe ijimbuzi jindi jonse amulitantamune mugobereha igumbuli na tupepa rwa plastic mugusowa tubi ambone masimpe kuti tubi twasogwa na kubikwa mu jimbuzi ambone masimpe kuti jimbuzi jindi jonse kajisalala na kajihunigidwe oyimulumbe waletwa kulindunye abamutabulanganya nseba mujisi.
Chief Hamusonde of the Lundwe people of Monze district in Southern Province has praised the government for its quick response in containing cholera outbreak in his chiefdom. The chief told Zanis in an interview that the positive reaction by government to send medical personnel and drugs significantly helped to prevent loss of many lives from the disease that claimed 3 from the fishing camps. And Chief Hamsonde also commended government for postponing the opening of schools to contain the cholera outbreak.
There is no way you can risk the life of a child because you're not going to school for 1 week. You cannot experiment the life of somebody to say, let us try. That is an experiment. No. I think they are doing right because they are saving life. Anything that saves life, that means to save life. It is right. Which we are having in Nimba. We built a clinic. And the government is promising to build a bigger clinic, a bigger clinic there this year. Thank you for that one. These ones who are in the Namario area and the Gisolo, we are transporting them here to upper land, dry land. We have given them quite a huge area. We have already demarcated through using government surveyor, demarcated 67 homes. That is a large place.
Still in Southern Province, Joma local authorities are impressed with the improved infrastructure at Katumbi Rural Health Post and a staff house at Muntanga Clinic at a cost of over 650,000 kwacha. Speaking during a joint monitoring of Constituency Development Fund CDF-funded projects in Mbabala's Muntanga Ward, Joma Mayor Javen Simologa and Joma District Commissioner Gamela Sigalea commended Muntanga Ward residents for prioritizing access to quality health care in line with President Hakainde Hichilema's vision of taking health services closer to the people. Here are the details.
Access to quality health care was far-fetched for these residents of Mbabala's Muntanga Ward in Choma district. Over the years, residents used this makeshift structure as a clinic here at Katumbi, which has since collapsed, making the provision of health care almost impossible, especially for expectant mothers and children. Worse still, the road network made this facility hard to reach. But now, this challenge has been relegated to the past, as government, through the Constituency Development Fund CDF, has constructed modern clinic structures and 2 staff houses at Katumbi and the Muntanga clinics.
Jiji guta nchomwa bona nje yagari Katumbi clinic. So kwarunga bamaga intujindi jahura. Kwagari penzi maningi. Mukukarari mitoka hoja na muguwa. Iwaga hoa amba kwamba kuti pepe waga hoetera waro kwamba kuti muji gutomu. Mbe wa hotu pangira igandaka. Omumuganda motwari gupimina basimada arimwa avana kuwenga agaga hurumende turirumbide mburimbo yatujitira twabanganda mpati njirya ni hurumende aya munesi njeyi so inga twarumba maningi kububo tumbo yatujitira hurumende twazwa mujibi omumoto akabede.
And as you can see, the roads are not so accessible. And this has given an opportunity to the local people here to have a health facility nearby.
Choma Mayor Javen Simologa and Choma District Commissioner Gamela Sigalea, who are currently conducting a joint monitoring of CDF projects in Mbabala constituents, are happy to see President Hakainde Hichilema's vision on provision of quality health care being actualized.
Answering to the president's call, not only the president's call, the people's call. The people in the rural area equally want to have access to good health. This is one classical example, and a lot more that we have in the district.
Now, people who are saying that there's no development, I think there are two things. Either they are doing it out of malice or ignorance. Because for me, we have done what it takes in 2 years. Because Choma district alone, I think if you look at the maternity annex, staff houses, they are just a lot.
Gift Banji, Zanis, in Choma, Southern Province.
And from Eastern Province, more than 24,000 households with pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers with children under 2 years of age in Chipata district have been oriented on the importance of nutritional feeding and the Scaling Up Nutrition Phase 2 project. The project, which is being carried out by government in partnership with UNICEF, has trained 15 women in the district under the Nutrition Support Group program to sensitize various households about the health feeding of children under 2 years old and pregnant mothers. Take a look.
Proper nutritional guidelines play a major role in the fight against malnutrition and stunting in children. To this regard, government in partnership with the United Nations Children's Fund has trained 15 women under the Nutritional Support Group program to educate various communities in Chipata district on the importance of nutritional feeding. At the graduation ceremony held at Namuseche Mini Hospital, Chipata District Administrative Officer Kapembwa Skazwe was guest of honor.
We are gathered here because of the great achievements scored with the support from the Scaling Up Nutrition. Scaling Up Nutrition 2 of Phase 2 of the first 1,000 Most Critical Days program aims at promoting a holistic and simultaneous delivery of nutrition and nutrition-related services to the targeted beneficiaries, promoting maternal nutrition, promoting dietary diversification through nutrition-sensitive agriculture.
The in-charge at the mini hospital is happy with the NCG program.
The people that we have seen here, I think we must appreciate the job that you people have done in educating our mothers, our parents, our children in the nutritional assessments. We all want to agree and understand that the first 1,000 days of life when a child is born are very, very critical to one's life. As you can see, the children that are here, they are looking well nourished.
And a vote of thanks was given on behalf of the graduates.
Tonga ziko kuleta programu hii taona kuti mabanja ya mbili mu community mwasu basinta kanyaka jesedwe ndikasubido kabuno kabana then tipempa futi kuti mupitilize tubungo twamene tonkala bati sapota isepata imi itali tipempa kuti bapitilize kuti basalekele pamene apa kuti njala isankale yopitilira kuno ku Eastern Kwaso.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata district.
We now take our last and final break. Join us for the rest of the news.
Kodi kolera ndi chani?
Kolera ndi matenda othulula. Munthu amene adwala matenda ya kolera amathulula kwambiri ndi kusanza. Dothi lake limakhala ngati madzi momwe atsukira mpunga. Ndipo munthu odwala kolera madzi mthupi lake amatha kamba kakuti iye amachoka kwambiri kupyolera mkusanza ndi kuthulula kwambiri. Munthu odwala kolera angamwalire m'maola 12 kaya kuti 12 hours ngati sanalandire mwamsanga thandizo la mankhwala.
Kodi munthu angatengere motani matenda a kolera?
Kumwa madzi adothi, kudya zakudya ndi m'manja mosasamba mwadothi kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mbale zotsukiwa ndi madzi adothi. Kudya zakudya zimene zinangosiwa mosasamala posabwinikira. Kudya zakudya zozizira zachimbala zimene sizinasungiwa bwino. Kudya zakudya zimene amagulitsa mphepete mwa misewu. Kudya zipatso ndi ndiwo zamasamba zosatsuka.
Kodi kolera ingachinjiriziwe?
gadusani madzi anu akumwa kapena kugwiritsa ntchito chlorine. Sambani m'manja ndi madzi aukhondo ndi sopo mukamaliza kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Funditsani zakudya mukalibe kuyamba kudya. Osadya zakudya zimene zimagulitsidwa mphepete mwa misewu. Muyenera kubwinikira zakudya kuopetsa kuti ntchentche zingakakeko. Nthawi zonse muyenera kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Pewani kugwiritsa ntchito machemba kapena maplastiki ngati chimbudzi. Onani kuti dothi litayiwa mchimbudzi. Nthawi zonse onani kuti zimbudzi zikhala zaukhondo ndipo nthawi zonse pambowa wa chimbudzi chanu pazikhala pobwinikira bwinobwino. Okubweretsani uthenga uyu ndi aunduna wa zaumoyo.
Welcome back. Joma District Fisheries Department has stocked 22 dams with over 2,000 fish fingerlings in each dam aimed at improving nutrition of children under 2 years. Speaking in an interview with Zanis, District Fisheries Officer John Kairas says the department has also constructed an additional 7 fish ponds in wards that do not have dams. He explains that the intervention is under the Scaling Up Nutrition Program spearheaded by the National Food and Nutrition Commission with support from UNICEF. Here are the details.
Deficiencies of micronutrients are a major global health problem. More than 2 million people in the world today are estimated to be deficient in key vitamins and minerals. It is for this reason that Choma Fisheries Department, working hand in hand with the National Food and Nutrition Commission with support from FAO, has facilitated fish farming in communities to ease access to healthy foods.
We stocked about a total of 22 dams. Choma has got 28 wards, so of those 28 wards, 22 have community dams that have been stocked with 2,000 fish in each dam. And then the other 6 wards that do not have community dams, that is where the 7 fish ponds have been established.
Under the same Scaling Up Nutrition Program, the Choma Forestry Department is also facilitating beekeeping projects in communities.
The other intervention that we are doing is beekeeping, where we have trained a total number of 60 women in beekeeping. These beneficiaries were supported with 6 beehives in total. So we thought we introduce this aspect of beekeeping production in Scaling Up Nutrition so that our beneficiaries are going to have honey as a main diet, for which when they consume honey, they are going to benefit from different nutrients that are in the honey.
The benefits of these interventions are being realized by the beneficiaries.
Akabunga katugwasha maningi ekuti mwalanga kuli fish pond awa fish pond yatugwasha maningi tulahuba nswi hakomera nswi hiya tulazela ziyamana kuzerwa nswi hiya then tulasanina ibana
inzuki twalikuya kuti chintu chitahupiki imaningi tere kuinda mu ngoma ihanzuki ihisumpukide twajena kuti hira bihabuji ikunji alingi kulikiri.
With support from FAO, Centers of Excellence have been established to provide the learning platform in various farming activities for beneficiaries of the Sun2 program. Wakumelo Study, Zanis, in Choma District, Southern Province.
And finally, on Zanis News, Central Province Police Commissioner Charity Munganga has reiterated commitment by the security wing to end cattle rustling in the province. Speaking in Chibombo during a sensitization meeting on the amended law on stock theft, Mrs. Munganga said the police have heightened patrols and will not allow stock movement at night. She further appealed to members of the public to join the neighborhood watch and community crime prevention units in the province in order to help fight crime. More in this report.
Central Province Police Commissioner Charity Munganga, who is on a sensitization tour on cattle rustling at 4 ways in Chief Lieutenant's area in Chibombo District, has reiterated the commitment by the security wing to end cattle rustling. Ms. Munganga attributed cattle raids to limited manpower and lack of fuel to conduct patrols. She reviewed plans to recruit more neighborhood watch and CCPUs to combat cattle rustling.
Motoka iliko, but there are times pameti libe fuel. Tenze taka mbapo bamea. So tiza ngati fuel ya polisi asira tambo pepa tandizo kuli bamea. He's been there for us pamati tandiza mwambili mbili. But mukaona ati problem ya kulisa ya ng'ombe kwani. Getting in touch na ba officer in charge. Mubauza ngati mwana ati information ikaenda maningi bantu bazataba. Kapena ba headman chabe batumira phone tipempa kwa ati wiki yasombwe mpiteko. Tizabwera motoka tinayo as long as there is fuel tizabwera kuno. Uneba udu CCP use ni volunteer. Hii mwaona mavuto amene muli nayo muno. Simufuna ati ng'ombe zanu zichite bwanji zibewe. Simufuna ati bakawala la mibele mamilisi yanu after mwalimba. So timipempa ati mujoine.
Reports from the community indicate that 3 to 4 cattle is stolen on a weekly basis and that the police is conniving with thieves by allowing stock and carcass movement even at night.
The buyer, the person who is buying animals, is conniving with the police. On that one, I'm very straightforward. I know what I'm talking about as a headman.
Kuendesha cheko shakara kubuti kulia mashu. Stock movement ya ng'ombe cheko. Chetutosenga what we are appealing from you now is that how can ng'ombe yafwa yenda mashu kwa road block ya mgushika kurusaka.
Ms. Munganga has since directed the police in the province not to allow stock and carcass movement at night.
Pita usiku na nyama yonse ili bechani yonse sizambo vomeleza. Tuzasenza pamoja na waveti. So that nyama yamene chitati libe brand mark libe chani ni nyama chabe tikaipeza chabe tupeleka na polisi.
Meanwhile, Chief Liteta has called upon his subjects to work hand in hand with the police in order to combat cattle rustling.
Abantu amupange muko umwe mwewe ni wamaduna na community abapoli muwepa mpanfongai mwende panfongai.
Daniel Billy for Zanis News in Chibombo District, Central Province.
As we end Zanis News, we recap on the headlines once again. Zambia, Mozambique to enhance trade. Muchinga chiefs call for revision of boundary map. 1,200 trees planted to combat climate change. And revised education curriculum validated. Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember that cholera is real, so remember to take the preventive measures. Also remember that we are one Zambia, one nation. My name is Juliet Mutele saying bye-bye and God bless.